Hi guys, it's Mystic Empress Healer. Welcome to another pick a card reading. And today's pick a card reading, I'm going to be focusing on what Spirit wants to reveal to you. Okay, so we're going to have 3 piles. Okay, and I have 3 hearts for you to choose from. 2 are non-crystal, and we have 1 that's a crystal. All right, so the first pile is this purple heart. Okay. The second pile is this pink heart. And the third pile is actually our rose quartz crystal. Okay, so you can take a moment to think about which pile you think is calling to you, and then once you've made your choice, you can go ahead and go to this timestamp that works for you, or maybe you might decide to watch all 3 piles and see what happens. Okay, all right, so let's put these 2 to the side and let's start with pile 1. So for those of you who chose pile number 1, this purple heart. Okay, so purple is considered to be a very royal color. So it may mean that whoever chose this particular color, you actually are seeing yourself in a very good light. You've come to the point of self-awareness where you know exactly who you are and what you're worth, and that's incredible. That's a gift, because some people don't understand or haven't come into the awareness of their worth, their self-worth. So the people who chose this pile are pretty confident, and also they know exactly what they want. Okay. Now, I have some cards that are actually good for couples or can be used for general relationships. So I'm going to start off with those cards first. And so the card for this pile is, what would make it easy for you to apologize? So I think Spirit is revealing to me with this card, for whoever chose this pile, is that there may be some situation in your life that has happened in the past or recently that you need to look at the situation fairly, look at it from a different perspective, and realize even if you felt that someone else was wrong for whatever the role they played, we always contribute to a situation as well. And so we need to look at, what role did we play in the situation. So, take it how it resonates. If you've had something that's happened in the past that you didn't act fairly, or you did something that was wrong or shady, then it's best for you to acknowledge that, so that you can apologize and move forward, so that you can resolve the matter in a positive way. And sometimes we wait and we say, we use the excuse of, it should be the other person, I don't see why I should do that. But you don't need to wait on anyone else. You just need to do what you know will work. And so apologizing is actually a sign of maturity, that you can acknowledge that you did not act your best at that time, and you've realized that and you want to move forward and make amends. Okay, so for those of you who chose this pile, just think about it for a little bit and see where that could apply to you. So let's see our Rider-Waite card. Ooh, okay, this is pretty exciting. We got the 4 of Wands. Some people call this the 1111 card, and they associate that with twin flames or soulmates. So this is pretty exciting. For those of you who chose this pile, it could mean that your soulmate is coming in or has actually come into your life already and you're aware of that. And you guys are actually moving up in your relationship. For some of you, it may mean that someone will be proposing to you and that a commitment will be made. So if that's something that's been on your mind, that you want your partner to become more serious about your relationship, then definitely there's going to be a commitment that's going to be offered to you. And you can see in the background you have these two people representing a couple, and then there are also their friends or family that are further in the background that are celebrating with them. So this card can represent marriage, celebration of marriage. It can also represent just a celebration of good news. So maybe something is coming into your life that's going to cause you to feel really, really happy, right? But I know for most people, when they see this card or when it comes up, it's usually referring to romantic relationships, and it's usually a very positive sign because 4 is considered a number of stability. So if you've been hoping to stabilize your relationship and really take your relationship to the next level, then this is a good card. This is a good omen. That will happen, okay? And it's going to be happening probably maybe pretty soon, okay? And then the next card we have, Oracle card. Oh, okay, it's wide open. Wow. And just take a moment to look at this card, and you can see this person. It's in the figure of a woman, but it really doesn't matter, right? Could be a man as well. We're just looking at the symbolism on the card and what it represents. And you notice she's standing on this rock. And for me, what Spirit is telling me is that this signifies that you've been through a lot in the past. You've had to come through a lot of different trials and difficulties. And now, guess what? You're at the top of that mountain. You've made it. You've ascended, and you're now at the top. And you can now look over and you realize that you've conquered. You've done so many things. And really, this card shows that you should be proud of yourself for how far you've come. And as we look at the figure of the woman, we see that her arms are wide open. So she's embracing life. She's ready to just move on, and she knows that whatever comes her way, she will be ready. And of course, this could apply to a male as well. Whatever comes his way, he's going to be ready. And what's interesting is the color, because the green symbolizes healing. It represents the heart chakra. So it means that, despite the hardships of the past, you're coming into a time of healing. You realized you had to go through some of those really difficult lessons in order to ascend and to get to this level. And you may not be able to see this so clearly, but to the side here, there's a butterfly, and that butterfly is actually green. And butterflies represent transformation. So it means that the people who chose this pile, you're going through a transformation, or you have already been through a transformation because of all of these difficulties that you went through, and you're now at the stage where you are just wide open and ready for success. It can also mean that because of this healing that has come about, that you're bringing in your soulmate or your twin flame, which some people believe that this 4 of Wands card can also play a role with that. So your healing is important. And of course, this would tie into the apologizing, because in order to heal in our relationships, we have to be able to say we're sorry, right? And we also have to be able to forgive others. Okay, and the number is 42. So 42 reduces to 6, and 6 stands for harmony and cooperation. And of course, this makes sense when we combine it with this card, or 4 of stability, because we want to be in harmony. We want to be cooperative with others so that we can be successful and move ahead in our lives. Okay. And finally, wow. So the final oracle card is this card number 16, which reduces to 7, spiritual completion, and it's power. and it's the full moon. So instantly what came to me is that for those of you who chose this pile, you're coming into your full power. After coming through all of these difficulties, you're now wide open. You've now healed from whatever happened in your past, and you are now ready. You are positioned to just basically step into your greatness. And then we see that she has this crown here on her head, and that could represent the crown chakra, which could show that you have, a full and complete understanding of what has happened in the past, and that you know what your purpose is now. So 16, I can't remember if I mentioned that before, reduces to 7, and it means spiritual completion. So you basically are just moving into a new period of awareness, I would say, and the full moon would represent manifestation. You're coming into a time where you're just going to be seeing a lot of things that you've wanted just manifest really easily, really readily. And of course, the full moon may represent timing, that in another cycle, in another full moon cycle, you may see certain manifestations coming forward. Okay, so how I would tie up all of these together is to say that by being wide open, being open to your healing, stepping into your full power, that this will help you to move into this energy of stability, this Four of Wands energy, and that alone is reason to celebrate, regardless of whether you have met your soulmate or are trying to call them in. Okay. All right, pile 1 sounds pretty exciting. So I chose this pile, so I really have to think about this a little bit more deeply and see how it applies to my life. Okay, so we're going to put this pile away, and we're going to move on to pile 2. So pile 2 is for those of you who chose this pink heart. And what I'm feeling is that for those of you who chose this pink heart, you really are wanting to feel more love in your life. Because of course pink is associated with the power of love. So you may want to do some work, maybe with some affirmations on love, or look to see in your life where you can be more loving towards yourself, as well as more loving towards others. Okay? All right. And so the relationship card says, what are you stepping into? What are you leaving behind? Okay. So this is interesting. I'm thinking that this represents really two sides of the same coin. You can't have an ending without a beginning, because it means that if something is ending, then you must be stepping into something else, another cycle. And so what may be happening for those of you who chose this pile is that you're finishing a cycle and stepping into something else, stepping into another phase of your life. Maybe for some of you, you may be leaving a job and starting a new job, or maybe you are moving on from a relationship to a new one. It can represent a lot of different things. Okay, so depending on what's happening in your life, you will know how this would apply to you. But it's saying that, remember, if you think, okay, something is coming to an end, always remember that that means that something else is coming into fruition. All right, so it's still a time to be positive. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is nice. This is incredible. What's going on here? Okay, so we got from the Rider Waite the Lovers. Ooh, and it's number 6. So this is interesting because pile 1 just got number 6, but they got it for a different reason. But I'm thinking maybe there might be a connection between this pile and pile 1. So for those of you who chose this pile, you need to go listen to pile one and see how it, listen to that reading and see if it connects with this one. Okay, so the Lover's card, some people see that as, a soulmate or a twin flame. And of course, I'm just thinking that it would tie into, once again, to the first reading, because that had the 1111 card, which can also be related to that. But anyway, so this could refer to twin flames or soulmates, and this relationship is being led by spirit. There's an angel that's actually watching over this couple, and you can see the sun in the background, and it's pretty huge. So it's showing that this relationship is just, it's going to be so fruitful and so life-changing for both yourself and your partner, whoever that may be. And there will be some difficulties, because we can see in the background there's that mountain. But what relationship doesn't have difficulties? So the point is, though, they will be overcome, and spirit will help you to meet whatever obstacles that are on your way, so that union will be possible. Now, one of the things you have to also look at is there's a snake in the background, and so the snake can refer to the Kundalini energy, and this may mean that for those of you who are, knowledgeable about that you are kind of shifting in terms of your awareness and your intuition, and you're changing. So you're like basically elevating in terms of your spirituality. Okay, and this relationship is going to be fruitful, represented by the apples, and then you have the flames of fire, so it's also going to be very very passionate. So for those of you who you've been praying about a relationship, then don't worry, it's on its way, or maybe this person has already come into your life, and you will know. I feel that based on the snake hair with the Kundalini energy, you will be aware that this person is going to be different from other partners that you've had in the past, and you will just know. You'll just have this knowing that this person is going to play a significant role in your life. Okay, all right, that's pretty exciting. And then for the Oracle card, okay, we get Ride the Wave, and look, you can't make this up, right? There are two dolphins here, and dolphins represent intuition. So once again, your intuition is pretty strong. And then remember, we have a pair, right? And then we just came from the Lover's card. So it means that whoever is coming into your life, this soulmate, this twin flame, both of you are going to be working cooperatively, in harmony, in order to progress together. And so both of you will be complementary to each other and to help each other. And 14 reduces to 5, so it means that changes will be brought into play when you two do come together, but those changes will be actually quite positive and beneficial for each of you, both individually and then together as a couple. For some of you, what I'm getting for this card, Ride the Wave, it means that there are some changes that are going to be coming into your life that may not necessarily relate to a partner per se, like a romantic partner, but it may mean that someone may be coming into your life who will help you in some way so that you can progress in a very significant way, right? And for others, it may mean that you will find that suddenly, circumstances and events will be coming forward very rapidly, because if you notice, the waves are really strong here, very rapidly. And so some changes may be coming in really rapidly, but those changes are really going to be for your good. You're going to be able to flow and move forward to where you want to be. And the water here could represent the sea of possibility, right? So just knowing that whatever goals you've been having in mind, they are within reach. Okay. And then the final card, okay, a little bit different here, is Resistance. me take a look at that for a second so I can just interpret it. Okay, yeah, I know what's going on now. Okay, so this card, the number is 25. You may not be able to see it. So this is 7. Now, pile 1 also got a card that reduced to 7. So I'm now convinced that the reading for pile 1 and pile 2 are connected. I believe that there's a story here, and so definitely I recommend that you see the reading for pile 1, because I believe that they're definitely connected. So for the resistance card, I'm getting 2 different messages. Okay, so you will know which one resonates, which one fits you, and maybe both fit. Okay, so for some people with this fist here, what I'm thinking is that you are the one who's actually been resistant to change and to moving forward in your life, and that spirit, which I think is represented by the birds here, has been trying to say, look, let go of the resistance so that you can actually move forward and grow. And even although you've been so what would I say, so resistant to some of the changes that you need to make, despite that, do you notice that the trees are still growing? They're still sprouting, although this hand is so tightly closed. And so Spirit is saying, look, we're trying to get you to open up so you can even be more abundant, more fruitful. So look at what ways in your life maybe you are being closed, maybe closed-minded to certain ideas that could help you progress along your path. Because Spirit really wants you to grow, right? And despite the fact that you may have some limiting ideas, Spirit is still encouraging your growth, and it's still happening, but you could be moving further ahead if you would open up to, ideas, to other ideas, maybe do things a little bit differently, right? So that's one message. The other message I'm getting is that for some of you, maybe there are other people who are trying to block your success in some way, and this could apply to family, it could apply to coworkers, it could apply to so-called friends who are really not helping you, or who pretend that they're helping you but they're really not. But the thing is, despite whatever, underhand means they may be trying to use, Spirit is still causing you to triumph, and that's why these trees are still growing despite the fist. And so I think the overall message of this card is it doesn't matter what others are doing, you're still able to succeed. You need to just ignore that, ignore the haters, so to speak, and just keep focused on what you need to do. And more importantly, you need to look at yourself and see where are you offering resistance to your own growth. Okay, and so to just tie these 3 cards together, I'm just thinking that once this resistance goes, once you're able to release this resistance, you'll be able to more freely ride the wave, whether with your partner or with other people, in order to progress. And who knows, maybe through those ideas and through those changes, you'll be able to actually bring in your soulmate. Okay, but the fact that the angel is here shows that, Spirit is going to basically, force you to grow. So even if you don't want to grow, they're going to find a way. And that's why these trees are sprouting. So, even if you're thinking, wow, I'm a little bit scared, and you're holding back, it doesn't really matter, because eventually that growth is going to have to come. Okay, and it's better to cooperate with Spirit rather than to resist. And I just noticed the angel has on this purple gown, this royalty here, and the wings are so pretty, the red, which symbolizes the passion. All right, and the arms are outstretched and upwards, showing that this couple is blessed. So I think this is a fantastic reading, and it ties into what I said earlier about wanting love, and also even the card that you're leaving behind what has happened in the past, whatever may have held you back, and stepping more fully into your growth so you can manifest. Okay, so pile 2, wonderful reading. Check out pile 1 because I think there's a connection. I think there's actually a story there between pile 1 and pile 2. Definitely there are some links, a lot of similarities there. Okay, so let's go to pile 3. Okay, so pile 3 is the rose quartz crystal, and for those of you who chose pile 3, what I'm getting from the crystal is that you are actually someone who is very giving, very loving. So unlike pile 2, where you still have maybe some aspects of love to work on, your heart is quite open. Okay, and that's actually beautiful. It's a lovely energy. Okay, and your relationship card is, how do you take care of yourself, body, mind, and soul? And that's really important because sometimes we take care of other people, whether it be our partner, our children, our pets, but we're not taking care of ourselves, or we barely take care of ourselves. And it's not just about buying clothes and eating. It's also about trying to make sure that we take care of ourselves in a holistic way, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So for the people who chose this pile, especially if you tend to be very loving and your heart tends to be very open, maybe those of you who chose this pile, you're empathic. And empaths need to be very careful about how they allow their energy to be affected by others, because if you're not properly grounded or know how to shield, then you can end up being depleted. And so for those of you who chose this pile who are empaths, you may want to look at shielding and grounding methods and just make sure that you're not overdoing it in terms of helping others. Okay, so that's definitely a very specific message for some of those who are empaths out there. Okay, so there's a bit of noise. Sorry about that, guys. Seems to be some kind of plane or helicopter that's flying by. Okay. All right, so let's look at our Rider-Waite card. And our Rider-Waite card, okay, it's interesting. It seems to be, this reading is different from the other 2 piles. We see a gentleman standing on what looks like maybe a mountain of some sort, and he's looking over into the sea, and there's some ships coming in, and this is 3 of Wands. And 3 represents creativity, okay? So maybe you're thinking about starting a new project, this card would be a sign of encouragement to say, yes, go ahead. See if you can collaborate with others in order to get this project moving. For some, it could mean that you're waiting for your ships to come in. You've actually put work into a project and you're just waiting to see what happens. For others, this card can represent the fact that you are going to be traveling in some way, shape, or form. And we know that some people are still traveling despite the COVID, depending on their work. Okay, so something is definitely coming into fruition here in some way, shape, or form, right? For those of you who are creative in some way, some ships are coming in, or you're going to have to take a trip in order to manifest some of your projects. Okay. Okay, so number 12, slow and steady. And you notice that at the body of this person, well, the lower part, it's not really a body, it's like a snail. It's in the shape of a snail or a shell. And then this person also has wings, but the wings are very small. And of course the shell would make sense because it says slow and steady. The number here is 12, and can't make this up. 12 reduces to 3, right? So we're back to creativity again. So obviously, and maybe the number 33 might be significant for some of you, and 33 is a master number. So maybe you might want to look up the metaphysical meaning of 33. Okay, so once again, what's coming to me is that for those of you who chose this pile, is that there's something that you're working on or waiting for, and it's really been coming in slowly. And you may be a little concerned about that because it's not happening as fast as you want. But what Spirit is saying is that, guess what? This is coming. It's just going to be at a slow pace, and maybe a slower pace than you would like, but it is coming. So whatever it is, whatever project you're working on, it's going to happen, but it will just take time to develop. And I think Spirit is also encouraging you not to lose hope, not to lose faith, and to be patient and realize that sometimes, we want things to happen within a certain time frame, but it's not just about us, it's also about other people who are involved. And so the timing is not always going to coincide with what we would want to happen. We have to work along with Spirit and the other people who are involved in the endeavor. What I'm noticing, this just kind of popped out at me, is that this shell is kind of blue-green. And so the green here, represents the heart chakra. And so there may be some healing that needs to be done. And this is interesting because I remember in pile 1, there was something as well about the green, and then there's green here in this card, and for some reason that's kind of jumping out at me, and usually that means there's something significant there. So there's some healing that needs to probably take place. And as I spoke about earlier, for those of you who are empaths, sometimes you can do too much when you're trying to help others, and that can be a problem for you. Maybe health-wise, that can be a challenge. And so you also definitely need to remember to take care of yourself, so that you can continue to take care of others. Okay, so let's look at the final oracle card. Okay, sorry. And the final oracle card, oh wow, it's creation. And look, I cannot make this up. We've been talking about creativity, and this is the beaver moon. Okay, and the number is 39, and this reduces to 12. Oh my god, I'm just realizing this. And 12 reduces to what? 3. This is amazing. So we've gotten 333. So we definitely need to find out what the metaphysical meaning of 3333 is. And if I remember correctly, I think that represents spiritual masters. Yeah, it does. It represents the spiritual masters. That's what I'm remembering. So for those of you who are inclined towards that kind of thinking, then it means that the spiritual masters are with you, whichever master you connect with, whether that be Jesus, Buddha, whoever. So that's pretty exciting. And with the creation, do you notice this person, well, her back is turned to us, but there's some scrolls here. Okay, and there's also like a face, but it's not completely clear. And so what's coming to me is that for some of you, what this means is that one of the reasons your project may not have come into fruition yet is you still need time to really think about it, to put some plans into place. So these scrolls look almost like blueprints. That's what's coming to me. So you need to make your plans more concrete, right? And consider things from different angles in order to bring your ideas into creation. Okay, and that's why this face is partially hidden, because there's still more work for you to do. So for those of you who have we're kind of thinking, okay, is there, other things, are there other things that you need to do? Then the answer is yes. There are other things that you need to look at. So you need to probably think about this some more, whatever it is that you're working on, and find out some more information. That's what Spirit is saying to me. You need to find out some more information in order to bring your projects into full manifestation. Right now, some of that is a bit hidden, and that's because there's more research that's needed in order for it to come forth. But it is coming, right? And the Ascended Masters, the 333, are definitely helping you. So whatever this project is, it is coming. It's going to be slow. It might be a little bit slower than what you would like, and that's why you're standing and waiting for it to come in. Maybe for some of you, you will definitely have to travel in order to bring it into manifestation, but it will come. You may not be able to see it so clearly yet, but it's coming. Okay. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed the readings today, and it would be nice to hear from you about any suggestions, anything that you want me to focus on for these readings. I'm hoping to do some more readings on a more regular basis, and also planning to get some more cards so we can have more variety. Okay. All right. So take care. Until next time. Bye.